Hello and welcome, family. Thank you again for joining me today on Chatting It Up with Mrs. B. I am your host, Mrs. B, aka Elisa. I hope everyone is doing good. I pray you're doing well and that blessings are pouring your way. So today we're just going to discuss a few things that are going on with society, culture, what's going on in the news, and a little bit of family things that are going on. So, first thing I want to talk about is someone that is majorly an influence on me in my life right now that I really enjoy gaining my wisdom and insight from, and that's Sarah Jakes Roberts. She has such a calming spirit and voice about her that I can just literally listen to her for hours on end, just motivate me and help me to understand just things that I may be questioning. I love her podcast that she has on iHeartRadio. Let me see a platform. She seems very down to earth, and I just feel a connection with her. So, shout out to her. Um, some of the things that have been going on this week that I wanted to kind of touch on. Well, one thing I forgot to mention last week was that thoughts and prayers are going out to Jamaica for anyone that's able to find a way to donate to Jamaica. Definitely, put your resources together to try to help them out there. I'm definitely finding ways that I can assist them with this tragedy. It's very tragic, but one thing I do love is I love how everybody is coming together for Jamaica and just making sure that, they have what they need and, that's needed at this time. So, I've heard of celebrities and, just regular everyday people just all coming together for Jamaica. So, round of applause and, kudos to everyone that's taking it upon themselves to just reach out and take care of those who may not have assistance otherwise. So yeah, kudos. And the more that we help others, the more that we can be a better place, a better world. So that is awesome. Another thing to talk about that's going on in the news constantly is the government shutdown. So, I'm glad that the government shutdown is over. I'm not glad with the circumstances that it's over because, Democrats basically are not in the best position with this negotiation. But I know that a lot of people were missing their income and they were affected by, not being able to either go to work every day, not feed their family, not pay their bills. So, in that sense, I am glad that it has ended. But one thing I want to say is that a lot of you voted for this, and we really have to take our vote seriously. Like, we really got to do our research and take the time to really just understand who we are voting for. Because not everything that glitters is gold. And that's one thing we got to remember. Like, sometimes it can look good and it can sound good, but if you put makeup on a pig, it is still a pig. It's still gonna oink oink out here. It's still gonna root around in trash. It's still just gonna be the vilest that it can be. So, take your vote serious and vote smarter and vote for the people, not for your own interests. Because when you vote for yourself, then you're left with selfish repercussions to that. And another thing I learned with this whole situation is that I really don't ever want a government job. Government jobs used to seem so secure and they seemed that they were, the way to go. But I don't want a government job ever. I don't see any security in a government job. These government shutdowns that have been happening recently are just shining a light on just how bad our political system is going at the moment. And, I am a strong believer that nothing is too too bad for us to be able to push through and deal with. It's going to feel uncomfortable. We're going to have a very uncomfortable 4 years. It may, end up making things a little more uncomfortable even after this 4 years. But no matter what is thrown our way, if you have faith that you'll make it through, you will make it through. You just have to really believe and trust that, there are going to be times where things are bad, but there are also going to be times where things are good. So you have to take the good with the bad and you have to make the best out of every situation that's placed in front of you. So right now, we just have to bunker down and we got to make the best out of this bad situation. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse. Hopefully this is the worst that can happen. I know that there are other things that are in this big, beautiful bill that are coming up, but, I believe that, things can turn around for the best at any moment. And we just have to keep our faith up. That's just basically what it is. Also, this week was Veterans Day. It was actually Tuesday. So, shout out to all the veterans. We thank you for your service to our country. It takes dedication to uproot yourself from your family and to, give yourself to your country in whatever way that you decided to. So I do want to take the time to just say thank you to everyone who served in any form of the military because there's no form that's not important. Every single position is important and helps us in many different ways that we don't even know about. So, yes, thank you to all the veterans, and I hope you enjoyed your Veterans Day. I saw there was a lot of good deals out there for you all, so I hope you're able to take advantage of them. And let's just get into, some things that's going on in the media. I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and one of my favorites to listen to is kind of like a radio show slash podcast, I guess, more a radio. But I listen to the Breakfast Club a lot, and I get a lot of my information from there. And I saw they were talking about Kevin Gates and him on there bashing older women and basically comparing us to cars. I just thought that was very weird. But one thing about Kevin Gates I've noticed is that he is, one of those type of people who like to say the wildest things to get the biggest reactions. And so when you know that that's somebody that's out there like that, that just will say and do anything to get a major reaction out of everyone, you have to take them with a grain of salt. You just have to understand that that's their intention and to not let what they say really bother you. I heard what he said, but I do not receive what he said because what he says is not reality. And it may be his reality, but it's not everyone's reality. So you don't have to adapt to those things. Don't let it affect you in any kind of way. Women are beautiful at any age and any stage of their lives. And I just hope you all remember that. Also, they discussed Wendy Williams having her dementia test and, trying to get out of conservatorship. And oh my goodness, like Wendy Williams, how you doing? Like, girl, you are really going through it right now. Prayers are out going out to Wendy. I hope that she's able to gain some sort of independence and, have some normalcy in life. I don't ever wish that upon anyone. I can understand that conservatorship can be needed, but it's best to be with family if you can be around people who actually love you and care for you and that can look out for you and your best interests. And I know that sometimes there are family members who will take advantage of people who are vulnerable. So I just hope that she is able to, bounce back. I know a lot of people might be like, oh, I don't like Wendy Williams. She did this, she did that, she said this, and she said that. We all deserve grace. We are, imperfect people. And I just really hope that she's able to get everything turned around in her life and that she's able to enjoy the rest of her life and, kind of bounce back a little bit. And I love to see people learn from their mistakes and actually grow from them. And I think that, this time in her life is a great time for her to reflect on maybe some things that she may not have done correctly. And then I hope it helps her to, be better. Um, Another thing that I wanted to talk about was parenting. Um, I am a mother of four, and I'm just going to say, like, parenting is the number one hardest thing that I have to do in life. It's the most challenging thing that you ever do if you're a very good and involved parent because there's no like right or wrong. There's no pamphlet. It's just not really a lot of answers. You just have to go off trial and error. And the most thing that you can do is love your kids. Like, You just have to love them and hope that what you're pouring into them is correct and that they're going to be able to take from that. But, a lot of times we cater to our kids and not really understanding that catering to them sometimes is to their detriment. And I know I'm guilty of that. Like, my biggest thing is I always want to make my kids happy. Like, even if they probably don't deserve it at the moment, because they do deserve it, but maybe not at the moment. They're not deserving of it. And I am guilty of just, overdoing. So that's something that I need to work on personally is kind of being sure that what they're given, it is earned. Like nothing is given without it being earned. It's just like you have to go to work and you earn your check. If you don't go to work, then you're not going to get paid. And so that's one of the things that I have to make sure with my kids is that they learn how to earn everything that they want, and that they're not just given things just for being and, existing. So that's a struggle of mine. But I love my kids. I love being a parent, and you just want to give them the world. But sometimes it's not the best to do that. Um, the hardest thing also for me with kids is like setting a set routine and not deviating from that routine. I always, try to have in my mind like, okay, we're gonna do this and this and this, and this is the times and this is the schedule, and I'm gonna do everything perfectly. And then I'm like, "Ooh, I done forgot all about the schedule. I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it tonight." It is really an everyday struggle. It's something that you just have to be totally and completely dedicated to in order for it to work. Kudos to the parents out there who are able to make a schedule and stick to it. You the bomb. Like I gotta give y'all I I gotta give y'all props where they're due because yes, you are definitely doing the thing and you deserve all of the applause. I, on the other hand, am one of those parents that are just all over spread out different things day to day. And, I just gotta get more routine oriented and just get a little more strict. One thing I learned with my oldest, I have a 19-year-old, is that to mean what you say and say what you mean. And so many times I would say something and I would go back on what I said instead of standing firm. And, you do it in love, and I understand that, but that's one of the struggles that I have to get better with is that, when I say something, that's the final word and then I don't deviate from it. And I also got to remember what I say too, because sometimes I'm like, did I say that? So yeah, just sticking to what you say you're going to do. I made a chore chart for my kids, and oh my goodness, I am so inconsistent with keeping up with that. We just started it back this week, and I'm trying to make sure that every day they are coming home from school, completing a chore, and then getting their homework done, and then letting them have some free time to be on their devices. Um, I know, different parents do it different ways. So I would love to get some feedback from anyone who wants to, just share how they're able to get their routines done with their kids and, what things work for them and what things didn't work for them. I would love to hear from anyone who's willing to share. Another bad habit that I have is I am always wanting to fix things. Like if I see something that's not working for someone in their life or someone I see potential in that they may not see potential in themselves. Like I really got to stop trying to fix people because it's not my job to fix anyone. And that's where, we kind of fall into disagreements with people because you can't fix what's broken in someone else. Just like no one else can fix what's broken in you. It's a self journey. So, I have to understand that it's not my job to correct. Yes, you can uplift people. Yes, you can give them a different sense of, a new reality. But in terms of fixing someone, that's never going to work because people change when they want to change. They have to be at a point in their lives where they want to see different than what they've been seeing. If you have gone your whole life doing things a certain way, it doesn't matter what someone else does to you, you're not going to be able to just flip a switch and change that instantly. it has to be something that you say, okay, I've been doing it this way for so long, and I no longer desire to proceed in this way. And, once you get to that level, I really think that people are able to, either acknowledge that they have a problem and change it, or either just acknowledge it and say, you know what, this is me and this is who I'm going to be. But in the end, we do have to be honest with ourselves that, it's not our job to fix things that are broken or people that are broken because we feel like we are able to. You're not. Don't put that on yourself. Kind of work on you. The one person you can change and the one thing that you can fix is anything that's going on with you. Like, you can work on you, and working on you means getting to know you better, getting to know who you are, getting to know what makes you the person that you are, knowing what things have affected you in life that make you the way that you are. And that kind of leads me into therapy because that's what therapy does. And I know everybody does not, agree with therapy, but therapy is awesome because it definitely digs down to the root of the why. Why are you the way you are? What molded you into the way you are? And you, it doesn't necessarily make you change. It just kind of opens that up for you. And then the rest is on you. You can say, I don't really want to change. I don't care. I feel like I'm awesome and I'm great. Or you can reflect and say, I do want to change. I do want to be better at this. I do want to make these, adjustments in life. And I definitely am a big advocate of therapy. I do have a therapist who I have not seen in a long time. I am not happy about that, but therapy is not cheap. And, especially when you find a good therapist, you're definitely gonna pay, but it is worth the investment into yourself because it is only going to help make you a better person. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling on, but yeah, we all have things that we need to work on. And I just challenge you to, tune in and hone in on yourself and just kind of figure out some things that you want to make better about you and improve with you. A lot of the things that really affect us is what we ingest into our minds, like social media. If you're looking at negative things all day, you're going to see the world in a negative way. Look up positive things. Look up people who speak positivity to your life. And, that takes me back to Sarah Jakes Roberts because, she's someone that no matter if I'm on TikTok, if I'm on YouTube, or if I'm on her podcast, she's going to say something uplifting that's going to inspire me and to help me to be better. And when you find those outlets, those are the things that are going to help you in the long run. Excuse me, my voice is cracking. Those things are going to help you in the long run to kind of improve who you are and to make you, a better you. So, yeah, I just challenge you to find ways to increase the positivity in your life. You curate what is being fed into your mind. It's just like your social media algorithm. If you're looking at things that are negative and that tear down a certain group of people or show a certain group of people in a bad light, that is what you are tailoring your algorithm to. Because I swear on the other side, there's beautiful and there's brightness and there's positivity, but you're not ingesting that. You're ingesting the negative. So try to be more positive focused and to make sure that you are putting things into your spirit that help uplift you, and you'll see a difference in your life. You really will. I definitely feel that. But we discussed a few things today, regarding parenting, the government, um, also, devastation for Jamaica. Definitely again, prayers are up for Jamaica. That is, I feel like I have a deep connection to Jamaica. I don't know why, but yes, prayers up for Jamaica. And also just, look for something that can be positive for you in your life. I do appreciate, everyone for taking the time and tuning in again for another episode of Chatting It Up with Mrs. B. I pray over each and every one of your lives that you are being fulfilled and that you are not lacking in any way. And then if you are lacking, I pray that God blesses you so that whatever you're lacking, you receive in abundance, and only you can, really know what that is needed. But I am, having you all in my thoughts and prayers. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week and that you have a blessed and wonderful day. And I will talk to you all next time on Chatting It Up with Mrs. B. All right. Bye, y'all.